welcome once again all. So firstly, thanks for taking out your time because it's work time and people are attending that. Okay, so before we get started, what is this all about? So Subhashri, can we just play the video of Medlearn?
Hospitals work round the clock to serve patients. Being at the center of the action, hospital physicians and staff must confront every situation and every challenge. They must also keep up with evolving health needs and knowledge through ongoing comprehensive training programs. What they need is a promising solution to ensure a continuous learning journey.
In today's world, technology is transforming life. Be it taxis, food delivery, everything we need is at our fingertips. Education is also going through a transformation, and we are at the forefront in the healthcare industry.
Medlearn is a comprehensive learning, training and skill development platform incubated at Impulsys in India for healthcare professionals to attain the right mix of content, learning and skills that help them throughout their career. The platform offers a wide variety of courses that enable hospitals to meet their employee training and development needs in areas of quality compliance, soft skills and induction. The platform is designed in a way that it enables easy tracking of the real-time status of their learning progress. What's unique about this platform is that it's accessible anytime, anywhere, ensuring quality learning literally at your fingertips. Hospitals can now assign courses and track the competencies of users on specific topics with Medlearn's intelligent assessment tool, which gives them better administrative control. Its superior courseware helps hospitals provide standardized care and bridge skill gaps at every level in the organization. The healthcare professionals will also become more efficient and empowered when their learning journey progresses with ease and at their convenience. Let us unite to improve healthcare in India by spreading knowledge through technology. Medlearn. Better prepared for better care.
So that's fantastic. And by this time, you should have understood what Medlearn does. Okay. So before we get started, let me just introduce the speaker today, Ajita, who's a senior manager, ILT consultant, Medlearn. So if we speak about Ajita, is like, so she's an instructor, she's a trainer for more than 20 years, and she has experience in healthcare operations and training. So Ajita has managed multidisciplinary departments in hospitals and excelled in healthcare. She covered the 360 degrees of the hospital, like operations, people management, service excellence, L&D, and her qualification. She is a postgraduate in hospital and healthcare management. And she is also associated and worked with top corporate hospitals and engaged in their healthcare industry knowledge, organization structure, working pattern. So here it does not stop. So she is also a very good motivated speaker also. So it is immense pleasure for us to have Ajita now. So I think Ajita, the platform is yours right now. So you can take it up and give us a glance how we can make sure that the soft skills are how it is so much important in our career, and where do we stand if we have a very good soft skills. So what are all the essential things that we have? So all the things. So over to you, Ajita.
Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you so much for that introduction. So I am sharing my screen. I hope you all can see the screen. Please acknowledge. Yeah. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ajita Baburaj. I warmly welcome each one of you for this webinar on the importance of soft skill in your career development. I hope and I wish that each one of you will get some opportunity and some knowledge from this session, which you can apply on your job to improve your career. So what is the agenda? What we have on the plate today is we are going to discuss and understand what are hard skill and soft skill. We are going to learn about the impact of soft skill on your personality, role of soft skill in your career development, your journey to success, step to enhance your soft skill. And before we wind up, we'll summarize whatever we have learned once. And then we also have a dedicated time for question answers. So I request each one of you to reserve your questions towards the end of the session. Moving on. So before we get into any subject details, or before we learn on a particular topic, it's always very important to know the basic about it, right? It's very important to understand what is it all about. So let's understand what is skill. What is a skill? Skill is an ability to perform some action, any work. Whatever you do, it is the result of any particular skill. Simple, even if you prepare a food, a recipe, it is your cooking skill. You get ready to go out for a party or a wedding, it's your grooming skill. You do an x-ray, that is your technical skill. A nurse, giving injection, it's a nursing skill. So every action what you do is the result of a skill. Even if you cry, even if you laugh, you smile, that is your emotional skill. So every action is a result of a skill. So to work in an organization, what are the main skills an employer or a recruiter will be looking for? There are two dominant skills, which are your hard skills and the soft skills. Now, what are hard skills? Hard skills are basically your functional skills, your role-based skill, which you use on your daily activity, like a nurse who has a nursing skill, like checking the vitals, handling the emergency patients, giving injections, administering medication. All these are nurses' hard skill. A receptionist, what does she do? Or a customer care executive, they book an appointment, attending telephone calls, raising a bill. These are the functional skills of a front office staff. And what about a housekeeping staff? Housekeeping staff, the technical skills are there, cleaning the area, following the infection control protocols. These are all their technical skills. And technical skills or the hard skills are always measurable. You have set metrics to measure your hard skills. And these skills are acquired through various education or through training and experience. Your experience also adds, value, or the expertise being brought through your experience. Now let's look into soft skill. What are soft skills? Soft skills, actually, there are no particular definition and it is not measurable. Soft skills are basically, it's a natural quality. It's a natural quality. It's a sociological term for an individual's emotional intelligence. Basically, soft skill is, it complements your hard skill. Soft skill is always, plays a major role to enhance or to add value to your hard skill. Whatever hard skill you do, if you lack in soft skill, without a touch of care or concern, that hard skill is not being valued enough. So it is very, critical to showcase one's hard skill. And at the same time, both hard skill and soft skill should go hand in hand. It is the two sides of one coin. One without the other has no impact on the, each other. Like for example, in a hospital, if you see, a person is coming to give a blood sample. So the phlebotomist, they take the receipt, they make the entry, they just make them to sit there, doesn't talk anything, and he pricks the patient and draws the sample. But technically, he does a very good job. Patient doesn't feel any pain. There is no, there is no bleeding, and it was painless. But what is the experience, overall experience he's carrying from there? And top of that, he's, the patient, when they ask a question, sir, when am I going to get the report? The phlebotomist will say, just ask in the reception. So is he happy, the patient? He is happy, or he is, whatever job he had come for, it has been done. But what is the experience he's carrying with him? Right? A question mark. We have to think about it. At the same time, a phlebotomist, he's very good in his communication. He welcomes the patient very well, makes him very comfortable. He checks about his condition, whether he's okay to sit up, which hand he wants him to prick. All these questions he does, but he's not able to find the vein, and he pricks him multiple times. He was successful in getting connected with the patient, but did he deliver his heart skill properly? No, he fails, right? So again, this patient also is not carrying a great experience when he leaves the hospital. So it is evident that in healthcare, you have to balance your hard skill and soft skill, not only in healthcare, any organization, any, especially service oriented industry, you have to balance your hard skill and soft skill, and especially soft skill are most observed by the patient, isn't it? In their memory, what is registered in the memory is mostly the people who treats them. Why those people are registered in their memory? Because they are social, though they are connected with the patient. They get connected, they are caring, and they're concerned about the patient. So that's why they remember these people very well, and they carry a very, very positive impact about the hospital service. So now it's very important, or it is essential for us to understand what are the important soft skills one should possess, and what are their impact on every individual and as well as on your organization. So we have listed down some of the soft skills here. There are n number of soft skills which one should possess to enhance in their career, but these are the most spoken and mostly used by every individual at any given point of time. So which are they? They are your professional skills, they are your stress management skills, time management, interpersonal skills, teamwork, work ethics, problem solving, communication and listening skills, empathy, critical thinking, adaptability, flexibility, leadership skill, decision making, grooming, and body language. These are all the mostly used. This is nothing new. I'm sure many of you might have, or all of you might have heard about these skills. But what are the role of this skill in our career development? We are going to talk about in the further slides. So these skills, if you notice, at any, in a day-to-day life, we use all these skills in some point or the other, isn't it? When there is it's a busy day, you use your stress management skill. When there is a problem, a patient is shouting very badly, use your communication skill. Somebody wants to tell you some information, you use your listening skill. When there is an issue, when you have to sort out where you have to take a lead, you use your leadership skill. So in some ratio or the other, each one of us use this skill. So it's very important to understand the impact of this skill on every individual. So we know what are soft skills. Soft skills are various behaviors. So what is the benefit of these behaviors? With this behavior, we will learn to socialize well with others and to build positive relationship. So like hard skill, unlike hard skill, the soft skill is applicable to all job titles and across any industry, isn't it? Hard skill is very, very domain oriented. Only it's role based function, responsibility what you deliver. Whereas the soft skill, it is applicable to anybody in the organization, irrespective of whichever title or designation you are at. From CEO to the security, everyone displays their soft skill. But the ratio at which they display certain skill varies from or depends on the role what they play. Like a CEO, we may be expecting more of leadership skills, business skills, analysis, analytical skills, decision making. These are the skills what we expect from the CEO. Whereas from a housekeeping or a security or a frontline team, what do we expect? More of communication, empathy, caring, concern. These are the skills what we expect from the ground staff. But irrespectively, everyone possesses, or everyone should possess, these soft skill in their daily activities. Coming to industries, does soft skill limit to any particular industry? It doesn't limit to any particular industry. There is no border for soft skill, isn't it? It is applicable in your healthcare, any service industry, educational institutions, your software companies, retails, production, media, any, across any domain you take, soft skill is a must. It has been believed that the hard skill gets you a job. You will get a job if you're good at your hard skill, but your soft skill will get and keep the job. It is a soft skill which helps you to sustain the job. It will help you to sustain in an organization and grow in an organization. So what is the benefit of taking out time to build your effective soft skills? It will enhance, your productivity. it will enhance your efficiency, it will also improve your harmonious, create a harmonious workplace for you. So what is happening when you are in such an ecosystem? What is happening to you? You're a very happy person, isn't it? At the same time, you will also get job satisfaction, which, that is the most important aspect what we have to possess when you work in an organization. Job happiness and job satisfaction, isn't it? Soft skills are personality traits like optimism, which is in your thinking process. And there are some abilities which you can practice like empathy, communication, interpersonal. All these has to be practiced. So like hard skills, your soft skills also can be learned. Soft skills are personal characteristics that lot of them relate to others. So any soft skill you take, it is eventually linked to people. It is people is always a part of any of your soft skill. It reflects on other individual. The result is on other individual or sometimes at the process, but mostly it is people oriented. So when you possess strong soft skill, what is happening? You are building strong work relationship, and that will help you to build a very good work environment, and also your productivity will increase, and at the same time you're maximizing your career prospects. So soft skill is very, very transferable from one job to other job. Even if you change your domain, your hard skill might change, but your soft skill will never change. People focus and invest time, money, and energy on excelling on their hard skill, which is very, very essential. But at the same time, it's also important to apply the same interest and effort on enhancing your soft skill also, because soft skill is the one which will give you the push. When you are excelling in your hard skill, you are becoming perfect in your technical knowledge. You will be the best nurse, you will be the best technician, you will be the best front office staff. But is it giving you the career push which you want? You want to grow in your career. Is it giving you that push? It is usually the soft skill which you're going to display, which is going to give you that push. So it is worth investing on your soft skills. More than anything, soft skills are not just about your business or building career. It is more about life and living, isn't it? The entire our life or the family or the relationship what we build is surrounded by various soft skills, isn't it? If there is no love and affection and harmony among the family members, what happens? That's why we see nowadays lots of broken homes, right? So it's because there is no lack of soft skills. Soft skill is something which everybody has been brought up with some sense of soft skills in them, isn't it? We teach children how to talk to elders, how to respect elders, how to talk to your friends, how you have to be punctual to school. All these are soft skills which all of us have been learned as we grow up. And some of us fail to do it when we really grow up, isn't it? So it's very important. Now we understood what is the impact on every individual. At the same time, as individual, I am an individual for myself, but when you're in an organization, I belong to that organization. So for me, it is very important, and I should know, how the soft skill is going to impact on the organization. Because if the organization doesn't grow, you cannot grow. Your growth depends on your organization, isn't it? So the soft skill, how it is going to help in the growth of an organization is it increases your customer service. They will give good feedback about you. They are very happy. They'll come back to you. You are building a very, very strong team, because your people are capable of so many skills. They are becoming very stronger day by day. Increased retention rate. Your patients are very happy, so the patients are coming back to you. Improved job satisfaction. We just saw people are very happy and they're satisfied with the job what they are doing. Increased loyalty customer. Word of mouth is the biggest marketing tool, isn't it? So people will talk good about the organization. Greater change adaptability. Change is constant. The changes keep on happening in organization. If the people doesn't have the adaptability skill, if they don't have the flexibility skill, how your employees will sustain there? Isn't it? If they have this skill, because the changes we cannot stop, because the company has to grow. So growth means it is, lots of changes are associated with every growth. So the people, the employees should be able to get adapted to the new ecosystem. People are more confident, so no stress. So or the other way around, People are less stressed, so they are more confident. And of course, your business will increase. And lastly, but very, very important, it will help you to guard your core values. So having learned all this, we understood the importance of, or the impact of soft skills on one individual, how it is going to, help them in the growth, how it is going to help them to develop their personality. So it's also important, or, responsibility of individual and the organization to help the employees to acquire these soft skills. How important on their career, and also to acquire these soft skills. So before we get into the detail, everyone should know what is growth. Growth is very, very subjective, isn't it? It is each one's perception. Someone may be willing to become a CEO of a company, but some person, they say, I'm happy as an HOD. I am happy if I become a manager. So it is, each one's desire varies from, one level to other. But whatever it is, whatever is your desire, but your desire is to grow. So what contributes to your growth? So what are the components which plays a major role in your career growth? Definitely your hard skill plays a very important role in your career growth, because your domain, you want to become a domain expert and you want to excel in that domain. So technical knowledge is very, very important. And what are the other component? The other component is your willingness, your ambition, isn't it? Your eagerness to grow in your career. So we know there are two components. One is your technical and one is your willingness. So which component has how much of weightage? So this is very important. People misjudge. They think I am expert in this, so I have to get, or I am the deserving candidate for the growth or the promotion. But surprisingly, someone else will walk away with the cake. How is that possible? Maybe he or she excels in the soft skill, which is not measurable, which can be only experienced by some people, isn't it? So we came across some surveys, very interesting surveys. So the component of success are your technical and the mindset. Mindset is the growth mindset. That is nothing but your ambition or the willingness to grow, which is the most important soft skill one should possess who wants to grow in their career. And look at the weightage. The technical skill has only 20% of weightage in your success growth, in your success journey. It is your mindset, your willingness to grow plays the major role. 80% depends on your willingness. So what happens when you have the willingness? Many people give up, isn't it? Because their willingness, that mindset is not very, very strong. Because when they understand that I want to grow, but if I had to grow, I had to acquire so many skills. I lack in many aspects. How will I get to know, how will I improve on these skills? So people who are really, dedicated, determined, they will put in effort to improve on their skills, whatever it may be. It can be a leadership, decision-making, problem-solving, business skills, analysis, anything for that matter. They will put in that effort to either learn new skills and also improve on skills, whatever they are, already possessing. Apart from this, there is another two, major components which shows how important the soft skills in one's career growth, especially with healthcare employees, are two documents or two audits. What generally we look into are the patient feedback and your annual appraisal form. Annual appraisal form directly linked to your promotion and growth, isn't it? So feedback form is something, is the initial step. People get rewarded if their names keep appearing in the feedback form. Nowadays HR conducts R&R and they've been appreciated in an open forum. So what does this feedback consist of? There are a set of questions depending on various departments or various domains. If you focus carefully, you find surprisingly hardly 20% of the questions are related to your hard skills or employees' hard skill. How good the doctor was in diagnosing the treatment or giving the treatment, how well how well the nurses treated you, did the technician explain the procedures properly? These are some of the parameters. See, this is may not be, it varies from hospital to hospital, but mostly 99%, these are the questions which is there in your feedback. What are the next set of feedback? 80% of the feedback consists of all your soft skill and your behavioral and organizational skills. That is how the employees treated you, how friendly they were, and how easy it was to get an appointment. Did they answer your phone call on time? These are all the various set of questions. And what is the weightage? 80%. So the people who get appreciated, whose name come on that feedback, it's only because because they have demonstrated the right soft skills towards that patient. So your feedback proves that soft skill plays a very, very important role in you getting a visibility in the system. I'm not telling a promotion or a growth, at least a visibility in the system. Coming to your annual appraisal form. Here also, if you notice, the first few set of questions are based on your technical knowledge. How much does she follow instructions? Do they follow the SOPs? How good they are in performing these procedures? All those questions. The next set of questions are purely on your soft skills. How good are you as leadership quality, time management, interpersonal relationship, decision making, communication skill, completely on your soft skill. And that is the final assessment for that year's growth, right? So if you excel in your soft skill, you are getting extra brownie points to, getting chance to grow in your career. So there was a study conducted by Stanford Research Institute. It proves, or it says, 75% of long-term job success resulted from soft skills and only 25% from the technical skills. Obviously, right? People who are eager to learn, eager to be successful, they will put in all their effort to acquire all the skills needed to reach there. Now let's see how the recruiters think. What is the recruiter survey talk about? So most of the recruiters, they have certain expectation from their candidates. So only 8% of the recruiters, they focus or they give more importance to hard skills. Maybe it is industry based, or let's not get into the detail, but it is only 8%. 30% of the recruiters, they focus only on soft skills. Okay, if the candidate is good at soft skill, they hire them and then they train them on the hard skills. And then 62% of the recruiters, they give importance for both soft skill and hard skill. They expect the candidate to possess hard skill and soft skill in the equal ratio. They feel it is very, very important for the candidate to possess both. Why they think so? Because they believe that the soft skill will help to facilitate human connections, and this would bridge the gap in the system and yield better result. So if you think a little deeper, where are the pain points? Where does the entire issues comes up, emerge from? It is all based on people. People put the blame on process. They say there is no process, there is no policies and all that, but it is not right. Every organization has some process. They have policies, they have protocols. It is people who doesn't follow this process and policies and protocol. And that is where the issue starts. One person follows it to some extent, the other person follows it in a different way. There is a clash between both the employees, and then there is a fight. They are not understanding each other. They are not collaborating with each other to solve some issues, and nobody is working towards the common goal. So recruiters focus on candidates who possess both hard skill and soft skill. So to make it little more, easy to understand, we are going to look into one case scenario. So this case scenario is based on a hospital and on two nurses. And these are imaginary characters. If the name is matching with any of the participant, please ignore. This is, it's just a coincidence. So there are two nurses who are working, Annie and Alex, working as a staff nurse in an inpatient ward for the past 3 years. Both equally experienced and joined the organization at the same time. Both are exceptionally good at their clinical skills and job delivery, follows all the required clinical protocols set by the organization and the nursing SOPs. They're all well appreciated for their subject knowledge, both of them. But in the performance management review, what happens? The Annie was recommended for a promotion, whereas Alex was not recommended for a promotion. He got upset. He went to the HOD to know the reason. What was the reason given by the HOD? HOD explained to him that Annie, both of you are clinically sound, but you or Alex lacks in his soft skills. So during his delivery, Alex fails to build a connection with his customer. He is unable to manage stressful situations and is not capable to take any decisions. Whereas what does Annie do? Annie ensures that she builds a connection with her customers, capable to handle complex situations. She also partners with her colleagues to sort out issues and also good at taking decisions. This builds a confidence in her supervisors and HOD, and they recommend for a promotion for Annie. What is the summary of this entire scenario? The summary is, you require more than hard skills to be successful in your career. You can be the best at what you do, but if your soft skills are not up to the mark, then you are limiting your chances to grow in your career, isn't it? So let's look back. Let's come back to Alex. Alex may say that, who said I'm not displaying soft skills? Have you received any complaints against me? Have I done any mistake or any error in my work? Have you ever seen that I'm ill-treating patient? How can you say that, I am not good in my soft skill? We have an interesting video for you. I hope you all enjoy this video. If you are not, I'm sure you will get to hear the audio. If not, it's okay. There's no dialogue. It's just 1 minute video. You can just watch this. All right. How's the video? I hope you all enjoy the video. It was a very simple video. There is nothing hidden here. It's very, very transparent, very easy to understand by any layman, isn't it? What did you think about these three characters? They all had the same task. What was the task? They had to just simply cross the road, which is flooded with water. So the first two people, what did they do? They found their own way to cross the road. Their job is done. Do you think they wouldn't have had this idea in their mind? They would have definitely had this idea in the mind. They would have wished there was a stone at least in between to step on that and walk, but they were not bothered about it. They didn't invest that, pain and energy to get it done. Why? Because they were in a hurry to finish their task. They had to just cross the road. Or they might, even if they had the interest to do it, they would have thought, why I should do it, number one. Two, where will I get the resources from? Where will I go looking for stones? My hands will get dirty and I have so many bags to carry. So these are all the excuses what we give. And so they didn't bother. They simply crossed the road. But it was there in their mind. Correct? What did that little boy do? Even he could have just walked off, right? But he didn't do that. He found a permanent solution for this issue. He put that extra, time, 1 minute, to pick up some stones, lay it there properly, and he simply crossed the road. Now, whose thought process is being seen? It is the idea of that little boy, which is visible now. He has expressed his action. Whatever was there in his mind, he has made it materialistic. So whatever the other two had in their mind, it is in their mind. Can you prove that, I had it in my mind, but I didn't do it? Yes, you didn't do it. So how can I believe that you have it in your mind? How will I trust that you will do it in future also? This is the difference between Annie and Alex. Alex had everything in his mind, whereas Annie was making it look very, very practical. That made Annie to stand out and get the opportunity to grow in your career. I have tried to explain it in a very simple process. I hope this will make it easier, or this you can adapt. You can try to use this method to scale up your career. This is, I'm calling it as journey to success. You can find your own way of doing it, but I felt this is the most easiest way. Soft skills are difficult to quantify. We learned in the first beginning 1 or 2 slides, we cannot quantify soft skills. But how will you judge? How will you know that someone has soft skill or somebody is good at soft skill? Unless and until you express through your action, you can't believe that he or she has soft skill or good at soft skill. So when you express through soft skill, or express your soft skill or express through your action, what is happening? Every soft skill is boiling down to people and relationship and bonding, right? You are enhancing your relationship. You build a strong relationship with your colleagues or subordinates, which will eventually help to solve the problems. And you regularly do this, you regularly solve the problems. What is happening? You're creating a visibility for yourself in your organization. You stand out of the crowd, right? You will be the single point of contact for any issues in your floor. If there is a issue, for example, here we use Annie and Alex as example. So Annie will be the single point of contact. They'll call Annie, there is a problem here. Can you come and help me out? The HOD will call, or the supervisor will tell Annie, I'm going on leave for 2 days. Please manage the department, because she is proving every time that she's capable of solving problem. So she is demonstrating her leadership qualities in every action, what she is doing. This is building confidence in her supervisors and HODs and manager. Thus, it is opening the gateway to her growth, and she slowly getting into her career development pathway. She's getting more opportunity to grow in the system. Eventually, she will attain success. So this is very simple. As we saw in the video, the life is very simple. Your growth is very simple. Only thing is the determination and the willingness, what you put there. All right, so we learned about the importance, how it is going to contribute to your career development. But how will I acquire these skills? Who will teach me these skills? Correct. It's very important, right? Now I want to know who, how will I get this? Some of the skills I'm good, some of the skills I am, average, and some of the skills I don't have. And naturally, I don't have the skills, right? It's like, some people are very, they're not confident in communication. So they lack in communication. So see, all of us come from different backgrounds, different culture, different upbringing style, different education system. So all these have some impact on your overall development, but it is never late. You can always acquire these skills. How do you acquire these skills? One, and the most important, most used tool is training and development. Anything where you feel that, oh no, I don't know this, let me attend a course. It's a training. It can be any kind of training. It can be your classroom training. It can be virtual. And nowadays, technology is playing a major role in in getting, it is expanding to reaching everyone on their hands, isn't it? In your phone, you download the app, you take the course. Leverage the technology to expand your knowledge. Second is self-assessment. Actually, it is a self-assessment I should have told first, because self-assessment is nothing but you realize what are your strength and weakness. You should sit back and ask yourself, what am I good at? What am I weak at? How will I convert my weakness into strength? So these are some of the steps you have to follow to analyze yourself and your capabilities. So how do you do your self-analyzation? You ask questions for yourself. You write down some objectives or daily what to do where do I lack, what I went wrong. Make a note of whatever you want to do. Ask for feedback from people. People, very what to say, tough, for some people to do that, because your certain characters comes as a block. You don't want to ask feedback. Why should I ask her, or why should I ask him? At the same time, they don't welcome feedback also. They don't like to get negative feedback. So feedback is something which very, very crucial. If you're not encouraging feedback, you're stopping your growth. Okay, because feedbacks will help you to have a visibility on your challenges, so which will encourage you to take up more course, or take, or improve on that particular skill. But if you stop someone from giving feedback, do you think next time they'll come and give you feedback? They will not give. They'll think, why should I? He or she is not interested to take feedback. So please encourage feedback. Periodic performance review. This is a very, very what to say, it's a tool. You try it out, it will definitely work. Like, when does the performance review happens in any company or organization? Generally happens at the end of the year, that is in March or April. In some companies, they also do it once in 6 months, but mostly at the end of the year. So what happens? You work hard for 12 months, and end of the year, you go and sit for your performance review, and you have been bombarded with surprises. What are those surprises? You are not up to the mark on this, you went wrong in this, you have to improve on these skills. So I am giving you 2 rating or 3 rating. Your 1 year is gone. All the effort and hard work what you have put in for 1 year is gone for waste. 1 year is a very, very long time in your career. It's a complete waste of 365 days. How will you go back? You can't reverse the time, right? But you have a small technique to handle this. What is that technique? You have periodic review with your HOD. Nobody will come and call you for review. You have to pitch it. You have to go and request for a time. It is for your benefit. You request for a time, sir or ma'am, I want to see. Especially this is applicable for the people who have just started your career. If you have joined in April, you go and approach them in June. Ask them, can I sit for 5 minutes? I just want to know how I am settling down. Am I in the right track? What are my, where all the areas I need to improve? First, number one, you're creating an impression on your HOD. Your HOD is impressed with your interest. So they will tell you, you lack in this, you lack in that. I get feedback that you talk like this. So you have to improve on these areas. Collect all the feedback. You try to work on those, challenges, and then you change yourself. Next 2 months or 3 months, go and sit with your HOD again. They will give another set of feedback. Try to work on that. So like this, if you repeat for next 2-3 times, in a frequency of 2 to 3 months, by March, you are in a better position to face the main annual appraisal. You would have overcome so many challenges what you were going through. And at the same time, your HOD has noticed your growth. They have changed, they have seen the change in you. They have also observed that you were so eager to grow. You had the interest to grow. All right. So this is very important to collect feedback. 360-degree feedback, also something related to that. There are many sources who gives you feedback. So why I have termed it as 360-degree? Because there are people around you. You have your colleagues, you have your supervisors, you have your HODs, you have your HR, you have your patients, you have your family members, your friends. So many people around you to give you feedback. Welcome all the feedback and convert it into positive. Employee engagement survey. In many hospitals or companies nowadays, HR conducts lots of survey activities through which you get, an insight into where do you stand. Behavioral interviewing. Behavioral interviewing is this: whenever there is an issue, go and sit with your HOD and ask them guidance. Sorry, this mistake happened. How I could have handled it. So they will definitely guide you. On the job learning. So on the job learning, it is ongoing. You have many methods. Observe others. You welcome feedback. Encourage communication, step out of your comfort zone. People, this is the most, one of the bottleneck. People are in one bubble. They don't want to come out of it. There are some people, they say, I'm very happy. I get my salary. I'm contented. It's okay. Leave them alone. But there are many people who want to grow, but they don't want to come out of the bubble. That will not work. You have to come out and then face challenges in life or in your workplace. Only then you will learn how to face challenges, how you will learn how to solve problems. First time you may make a mistake, Second time also you may do a mistake. Third time also you may do a mistake, but the gravity may be little lesser. Okay. Fourth time you may do a better job. 5, 6, 10th time you are an expert in solving problems. So you have to face challenges like driving, isn't it? You're so scared, spectacle. You're like petrified to get on to the road. So first beginning 1 or 2 months, you're scared. After that, you become an expert because you learned how to face challenges. So you can look out for various training sessions, training modules in our library. Sudhir, my friend, will be taking you through all the, the modules what we have. Before we wind up, so this is for the benefit of people who have joined little late. So I'm just summarizing what all we went through. So we understood what are hard skill and soft skill, and how it is important to balance both of them in your career, and important skills and the need to perform better. What are the important soft skill we learned, right? And then we spoke about the impact of soft skill on your personality and the organization. We realized that the hard skill gets helps you to get a job, but the soft skill will help you to keep the job. And the skill and the career development, we had a detailed discussion in which we understood the key components of success, your 20-80 ratio, and hiring the right skill. What is HR? How they hire people. We also had some case scenarios where we had a hospital-based case scenario, and we had an interesting video which made us, understand what is the journey of success, how you can convert your thought process into action and attain success. And last, we also learned how to enhance your soft skills. What are the tools and techniques to use to enhance your soft skills? So with this, we have come to the end. These are some of the modules which Sudhir will be talking in detail.
Yes.
So
That was fantastic. Okay, I think now people will start thinking, I'm very good at, I'm at 90%, I should get a hike. So people will change the thought process. It's not 90%, it's like a soft skill that will change the game on the job. Okay, so good, and couple of examples are also very, very good. And I think most of the scenarios you would have said something in your real life where you would have seen. So that will be the thought process for most of the people, and that would have happened to also most of the people. Don't worry, guys. This challenge, what we are facing, not you, as everyone will face, Medlearn has a solution for that. Medlearn brings you with the best content, with the best scenarios, how we can go to the next level. So can I share my screen, Ajita? So
yeah,
can you?
sure. Thank you, everyone. It was great sharing my experience to you. I hope and I wish you, you learned little, something out of this session and implement the same in your daily activities. And I wish all the very best for each one of you for your career growth. Thank you.
So Ajita will be there.
Yeah,
So
I'll be here.
he'll be there in the doubt session.
Sure.
Okay. So before that, let me just. You're able to see my screen, everyone?
Yes, yes.
So coming back to Medlearn, so where are these courses that are that will be available? So when we log in exactly to store.medlearn.com, the URL will be there on the chat box. Subhashri, you can paste the URL store.medlearn.com, so we can access here. So come here, and there is an option called as store. Click on that. So in the left hand side, you can see the various categories. So there is a category called soft skills. So the only thing which Ajita also discussed with me is that we can't tell that this is the skill that is required for you to get to the next level, because it depends upon where are you working. It depends upon what are we lagging on. So again, it is self analysis. So the best feedback is go and ask your bosses. So go and ask your reporting managers. They can give you the best thing that where you lag it. So they'll tell this is what you need to develop, or this is what you need to give more time rather than other things. So in that way, we categorized these things of soft skills like professional development, somebody who comes from an IT or admin background. We have MS Office and IT. leadership, workplace skills. So what all the skills that are required for workplace, managerial, health and safety, well-being, self-development, compliance, HR. So you can select what you wanted. So for example, I need MS Office and IT. I'm an admin guy, and I work with Excel, and there will be a lot of customers that come up on. So you can check this, just highlight this. You'll get the courses here. Excel 201 210, and you'll get for beginners. You're a beginner, so this is the first time you're using an Excel, and your boss says you should be good at that. So go to this course, click on that. So it will give you validity, and all these courses are valid for 6 months, and there are some courses which are valid for 1 year. So once you come here, once you buy, your validity gets automatically updated in the backend based upon the courses. Click on buy now. Enter. If you are already registered, just log in, and otherwise click on sign up. Just click on this thing, create account. It will just go to the payment page. So once you complete it, you can go back. It will come back to your profile. And the same way, you can also check for other courses. If you are looking at any course, you can go. The process is the same. Managerial skills, go to that, and there'll be already lot of communication skills that are there. So you can select the communication. It will be part 1, part 2, part 3. Select part 1, select part 2, select part 3, so that you can make sure that you there is one course called communication skills for managers. So all these parts are included into that. Click on buy now. You'll get 8 parts. So 8 parts is like we have divided like team communication expectations, manager resilience skills. So you'll have all these things coming onto your portal. So this is not only way that every time you log in to the website and study, just you download the app. So you can download from an Android app, or a Windows app, or whatever phone you use, or an Apple. So you just download the app. Whatever you wanted to do, you can just go to the app and you can see. As Ajita has mentioned, everything is there in our hands. That is on a mobile phone. So you'll get everything there. Okay, just log into the app. Once you buy the course here, all the courses will be reflecting onto the app. So you can just open the app. Instead of spending time on a WhatsApp, you can just log into Medlearn app for 15-20 minutes. Complete your course. You'll get your certificates in the portal itself. So once you complete here, there will be an option called as certificate. If you complete the course only, it will get activated. Click on that, download the certificate, and you can use that in your interviews or upskilling, or anywhere of your promotion. So anything. So we have, apart from soft skills, we have a lot of other courses for healthcare, like NABH or RCNI, which is an international course, healthcare courses. Just come here and just pick up something what you are looking at. Just take it up, add to cart, just pay it now, and your course will be there on your phone directly. Okay. Yeah. So you can reach us back. Okay. So before we close, we just need some questions. Let us see if any other questions that have come. So anyone can ask questions. So Ishwaran sir from RMB is good at program. Okay, thank you sir for that. Okay. So any questions that have come, because I'm not able to see here. Yeah, so we have 2 minutes time. So if you have any questions, please type it at the chat box. And you can reach us on, we are typing the number, it's 63 54 51 25 05. So if somebody wants any question to be answered, or any particular problem they have, and what course they need to select, you can reach back to that WhatsApp number. Maybe you can also get in touch with Ajita. We'll get in touch with Ajita, and Ajita can suggest us what is good for us, which course we can take for our challenge that we are facing on the ground. Because sometimes you can't select the course. Sometimes you don't want to speak with your managers, or you don't want to get feedback. But as we are an external people, we'll be able to help you out. So you can reach there. We'll speak with Ajit and we'll get back to you. Yeah, so Praveen is saying that Ajita has my contact and will coordinate with her for sure. That's nice of you, Praveen.
Sure, Praveen.
So somebody was asking who can take up, Ajita, this question is for you. Who can take up this soft skill training programs?
Yeah, so we want to know, so what is your expectation? Is it a live session or a webinar, or you want to take it through the platform? So give us the option, we can do the needful.
Yeah,
And where are
yeah,
you based out of?
yeah. You can give us a scenario to Ajita, like what exactly you're looking at, or you're asking for you yourself. You can give more details about that so that it will be useful to answer to the point. Otherwise, the answer, any answer can be right, but we don't know it matches to your requirement or not. So maybe he's asking, is anybody, anyone at a hospital level can take, or is there any minimum qualification that we should take a soft skill training program?
All right. So it is always, yeah, it's better a qualified or a professional trainer who does this soft skill program, who has experience in conducting soft skill training program, who has also have some experience in working in a service industry, because that brings out their personal experience, will definitely talk and help how he or she can guide your employees to excel in the soft skill. So,
So
yeah,
Ajita, he
sorry.
was giving an example. For example, anyone who carries 10 plus years as a nurse or an admin, can they take up a soft skill training course?
Can they take up, means they want to do it for themselves, or
Yes,
they want to conduct programs?
they wanted to take, can they take a
Yeah,
soft skill
yeah, yeah,
course?
yeah. Yes,
10
yes.
years plus
There is,
experience.
yeah, there is no limit for acquiring soft skill. That's why I was talking. Soft skill is being taught as we are kids, right? So there is no age limit. There is no qualification. Nothing is needed. Soft skill are natural skills. So anybody can take soft skill. But if somebody, especially it is very, very role specific nowadays in organization, because if somebody who is in the front facing, who has to face customers, there are set of programs, depends on their role. So they might have to take up communication, they might have to take up customer handling, customers handling difficult customers, escalation. These are all some of the soft skill you can give it to them. Whereas people who are at the back end, interpersonal relationship, how to collaborate and work, these are all the some other topics. So it's based on your role, how much the person is adding value, and if you enhance that particular skill, if it is going to improve your service, then you have to provide them that skill. Age and qualification doesn't matter.
Okay, so Ajita, one question that I generally get from
Hmm.
a lot of nurses when we speak, or a lot of doctors, they ask like, we don't have time for this. Okay, because we work for 8 hours. Sometimes there'll be a shift, unknown shift. So they don't know that they have a shift. So, so every time we spend time in front of patients, beds, all these things. Okay, so what type of skill? Because you would have worked in a corporate, so you can suggest us like what type of skills that at a higher level they'll see, or at a floral manager, what do they expect from us?
um See, what do they expect? It depends. Like you said, they are always in front of patients. They are going through a tight schedule every day. So basically, stress management is something which they should definitely take up. Next, if they're not getting time to excel because they want to grow in career, then it is the leadership skills and supervisory skills. These are something which they can take it up. And time management skills, how they can, because it's a busy schedule, you said. And how to improve on their emotional intelligence, because hospitals and it's most of too many painful situation, right? They see pain day in and out. So they want to overcome that. They have to become emotionally strong. These are some of the topics you can provide it to them.
Yeah. So we are running out of time. So I think it's 4:08. I think everyone has their email. We had given their website link and the phone number to WhatsApp us. So Ajita, if anybody asks any questions, we'll get back to you so
Sure.
that you can help us. One question: does team coordination skills count as an important soft skills?
Very much. It is your, teamwork. It is your team collaboration, interpersonal skills. It is very much needed. If you're a person who has to work in a team, if there is no team coordination, you can't call it as a team. Yeah, a team is called as a team only when there is coordination, there is collaboration and synchronization among the team members. So it is very, very important.
So thanks, Ajita, for that. Thanks everyone who has participated and asked questions and clarified. So it is a very good session because skills nowadays are being paid very high. Okay, it's not the degree or the clinical part because everyone has that. People are being, because we come out with an industry and everybody wants to grow here. So only people have the skills will go to the ladder up very fast. Everybody goes to up to the ladder. Some goes with number of years of experience, some go with less number of years experience, but they climb the ladder very fast. It's because of the skills, especially for the soft skills. So let us identify where we lack. Let us identify what is the best place, so who can teach us and who can make us to get that level very fast. So we are there as Medlearn. We work day in day out for you people. So we'll make sure that your learning is very fast. Your learning curve is very fast and you go up to the ladder very fast. So thanks everyone. So signing off, Ajita and team, we are signing off. Thanks. Thanks Ajita.
Okay.
Thanks Sushri. Thanks
Thank
everyone.
you so much. Thank you, everyone.